another Friday edition. Thank God it's Friday. Going to give you guys some updates. We got a lot of new fish in this last week. They'll be going up hopefully next week. I know a lot of them are ready, and then a lot more are still in quarantine. So it's going to be a little while for those guys, but you know, we won't start shipping those fish out until they are 100% healthy. So I know Drayden's been posting up a lot of videos and pictures of the fish. Also on our YouTube channel, my good friend Jared has been putting up some new Fish of the Week videos, which you know, has been pretty fun to do. So he's doing a great job with you know, making much more quality videos than what I make. So I make live ones, so I don't have time to edit and not very good at it. So Ahmad, what's up? Glad to have you on. Lens, hello. I'm gonna flip this screen, and I also have a special guest here. He's actually walking through with his family, so we're going to introduce you to two good friends of mine from Cleveland, Ohio. Every year, except last year because of COVID, and then this year because of COVID, but you know, for the previous 6 or 7 years, every year we went up to Cleveland and went to the OCA Cichlid extravaganza, and so we met the Gooman brothers. That's our special guest. About 7-8 years ago, and they've just been this great company and great friends. They're actually comedians. They're very funny people. So let me show you. Dan, Don, y'all ready for your introduction? So yeah, let's go get your brother. He's right here.
Danny.
Yeah.
Are we on?
You're live. Megan, you're live too. You're good. So this is the Gooman Twins. So
hey y'all,
yeah,
we're here. You ain't.
You either love them or hate them. No.
Hi everybody, good place. Come down and see him sometime.
Yeah. So they actually had trouble getting in to see us. They initially emailed, and I didn't see their email, and the crew's like, nope, nobody's coming, no visitors, and then you know, we saw the email, and I was like, I can't refuse these guys. So,
come on down, guys. This is awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna show them around some more, and go ahead and let them get the fish. And yeah, the Gooman Twins. Oh, they're a blast, Ahmad. They're just a fun group of guys to be around, and you know, it's they were in Florida visiting. They've been talking about years coming down. You know, like one year because their sister lives in Florida, and so it all worked out, and they are having a good time. And you know, it's you know, all of them had their vaccines and COVID tests. So that was our big concern about having people come through the facility, is that, you know, we don't want to take a risk of, you know, getting anybody sick because of just wanting to look at some fish, you know. So but I'm gonna try to keep up with these questions as they come in and answers, and then I'm gonna show you some fish. So Kareem Char from Puerto Rico. Oh, I love Puerto Rico. We you know, we've been selling fish to Puerto Rico for a lot of years now, and I'm like, you know, loving the fact that we could ship down to Puerto Rico and with such success. So it's you know, it's a worldwide love affair for fish, you know, and nature. You know, I kind of look at what we do as a nature thing. You know, it's just, you know, preserving and protecting and educating for these fish. So El Puerto Rico. All right, I'm gonna show you guys the L600s. These came in last week. These are actually tank rays. This is the Pseudacanthus leopard cactus, and this is just a really cool plico. But, and very rare, especially tank rays. There's not very often that guys come in where they're available to be tank raised. So super excited to get some F1s. And just so you know, this particular plico gets very big though. You're talking, probably a 2 foot long adult. It gets very big, and you need a big tank to keep them. So let's see if I can lift up this wood without freaking them out a little bit. But they are really cool, and they're actually not algae eaters, they're meat eaters. So if you're thinking these are going to clean your tank, they aren't. They will actually prefer a carnivore diet. So they're easy to keep, not very difficult. These guys just came in, so they're not on the website yet. I'm gonna try to set this piece of wood up so they don't get smashed. There we go. I like that better anyways. And we're going to add some sand to those tanks. We're actually waiting on sand. We got some gizzles. That was one of the videos that we put up on our YouTube for Fish of the Week. I think it was this past Monday was the gizzles. And then I think the redheads were the week before. So what else did we get in? We got in some Pandagaris. Really cool fish. If you don't know about them, you should check them out. If you're looking for something peaceful that's not aggressive, these guys are really nice. What else we got here? We got some wild type Bettas, and I can't even pronounce the Latin name. Common name is strawberry betta, but anybody that keeps wild type Bettas, they want to know the actual name. Sabica is a name that I think is commonly used. That could be a location, but you can see we got some Indian almond leaves and lots of cornwort in there to make them feel happy. But these guys are really cool. From our experience with them right now is that they're not very difficult to keep. They've accustomed to our water very, very easily. So I thought that was pretty cool. This is the Maculata dwarf spotted razabora, and you can't. These guys are so small. My camera is not going to pick them up. In fact, there's a couple, contaminants in there, other wild types that we don't know what they are. Like I see that guy swimming across the top there, but they get bright red. The males do, and just a fun, community fish. Not very difficult to keep. They stay small, so great for nano tanks. I need to flip to, these guys are not for sale. It's the green Morago Tropheus, and these are some that were, we brought these in, I believe, from Germany, and they're going to be for breeders. So there's also some Canary Creek, Canary Cheek Tropheus. I'm hoping these guys will be available real soon. They've actually been in for a couple weeks now. This is the giant Cichlids, and they're doing pretty good. But we're still keeping an eye on them. They came in a little bit stressed, but if you like Cichlids, this one's nice. It's definitely bigger than the common Cichlids. But really cool fish. My questions aren't showing up on my live feed, so I'm gonna park in front of this tank here. The mustard plecos, these are also wild caught. I think this came in on that same one. All right, Jason Ferguson, hello. Colored guppies. Brian P. Tom from Malibu. Love having you on, Tom. I love Malibu too. Really enjoyed the one time I went through Malibu. Jack's on. What's up, Jack? Russ. Ali Sean's asking if the Goomans are going to be at the Keystone Clash. Let me ask. Hey, Dan, hey, they're asking if you guys are going to be at the Keystone Clash.
Are we?
Yeah, are y'all going to be at the Keystone?
Because we're getting loaded up. We got stuff coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of it's still small, but yeah. We'll be there.
All right. So Ali Sean, they will be there. So he says he's getting his fish up to size, and he's got a lot of fry he's going to be bringing. So these guys are really cool. Really cool. All right. Let me park in front of the black orange lithobates. These guys are small, but they're You can see the males already coloring up. Martin is asking for to see some show males. Absolutely. So whenever I get done, actually there you go. There's one right there, black orange lithobates, right at probably 2.5 inches, maybe pushing 3. But I mean that's a little bit smaller size. I know on the Facebook group, the Imperial Tropical Keepers group, every time somebody posts up their black orange lithobates, I mean, people just go nuts about them because they're like such a spectacular fish. So, but yeah, I'll show you more of the peacocks and haps. We got some cardinals. Those guys are still under quarantine, but they're looking better. This is the tiger pinaculus. So this is the plico that I used as the cover for this video, which it's a spectacular fish, and this one is an algae eater, but look at them. They are really, really nice. Really, really nice. So that's the one we used for the screenshot, and you can see the tiger stripes on where it gets its name. It's a really nice fish right there. Really nice. Driftwood, stay still. Alright. What else did we get on this last order? I think that's it on this side. Just more cardinals that are in quarantine. These are some wild-caught julies that we brought in. And those guys are looking real, real nice. So if you're looking for Corys, we got a big selection of Corys right now, and they're all doing really, really well. So one of my favorite fish in a community tank is a schooling group of Cory Cats. Got some clown plecos here. These guys like that driftwood. And you see those guys. And this is a really nice fish because it doesn't get very big. And it also is a very good tank cleaner. So and they're not as expensive as other types. It's readily available. You know, these come from Colombia, and you know they're just a good good fish for a community tank, for a tank cleaner. We got some diamond tetras right here. These are actually bred locally by a friend of ours. So those guys are looking nice. The Cardinal Tetras. These came in on the last order, and cardinals are one of my favorite tetras. I mean, it's I can't wait to have a 400 or 500 gallon tank with like 300 of these guys schooling in it. I mean, in a planted tank, I don't know that there's a better looking tetra out there. So, what else we got? We got some Skunk Quarries. These guys, the water is a little bit tinted right now, but they are healthy and good to go. We haven't had any issues with these since we brought them in and got them through quarantine. I love how they school in a big group. That'd be another awesome sight, is to see like 30 of these guys in a big planted tank schooling around. But you can see where they get their name skunk, from that big black stripe. Alright, let's see. Kareem, I appreciate the love. DJ's asking if we have any blood parrots. No, it's actually a fish that we we could carry it, but we actually don't think it should be bred in the hobby. So a lot of the blood parrots are hybrids, and not that I'm totally against hybrids, because I've got several types that we breed around here, but that particular one has a lot of deformities, and it's just not a good fish. And the bright colors that you see on those, a lot of times is from them dipping them in a dye that will stain their body. And I've heard of reports of like 40% mortality from them making the blood parrots a certain color. So I would recommend, there's so many other fish that that don't have all the health issues. I do know that they make great pets. I personally had some here that a hobbyist could not take care of, so they brought them by and donated them to us or traded out, and they're very personable. They do make friendly, little tank mates, but I say friendly, they could be aggressive too, but they make, they have a good personality. But I guess the problem is that there's such a high mortality with them trying to make them a certain color that's not natural is not good, I don't think, So there's a lot of other cichlids out there that I think would, that are just as colorful that make good tank mates, So I know these guys have been selling pretty fast. The Leprinus fasciatus. Looks like we have about 8 or 9 of those guys left. So this is another cool, the tiger whiptails. Let's see if I can get those guys. They're all kind of slightly buried in the sand. So let's see if I can get these guys out. You see this guy, ooh, he just took off. See, he thinks he's hidden right now. Just a cool catfish, that peaceful, stays on the bottom. I love whiptails. There's all different types of whiptails out there, and I really like them. What else do we bring in that's new? I'm gonna try to keep up with these questions too as we go. I guess I could briefly go through the Tanganyikans because I know somebody's going to be like, hey, show us your Tanganyikans. So these are not for sale. I just read the sign, not for sale. So sorry, I'll go ahead and show them to you already, but we're actually saving these back for breeders. I know we have another group, I think, in the breeding room of these particular ones breeding. So we got those. We got this redfin. Called a punctatus. Those guys are really nice. Those are all tank raised here. The loopies. We got a few multi punctatus in there. We got some Kaiser 2 trophies. This is the one that it starts off with just a little bit of yellow, and then the bigger it gets, the more yellow it gets. So I really like that. The Icolas, they're usually more yellow at a small size, and then they start coloring up. We got some Julie Comas. These guys are nice. These actually came in on that last order, some albino Bouchardis. So those guys are nice. These also, this is the Dick Feldeye Julie. Those guys are nice. Good size on them too. Tanganyikans are notoriously slow growers, so you got some boops and some Cyprichromis, Caringis. Those guys won't color up until they get a little bit bigger and in breeding color. So some brevis in here, some Julie ornatus. We got some goldface compressiceps, another very slow grower, very nice. We got some Tropheus the Boise's. You can see some still have the spots and some of them were losing the spot. And then we got some Cyprichromis chatutas and some Timbus. Really nice, peaceful fish. Some Julie Mallory's, they're looking nice. So a big Tanganyikan section. We've really been expanding our Tanganyikans and pretty excited about it. So I know y'all were asking to look at some of the peacocks, so we'll start with some German reds. You see a couple of the males that are starting to show really good colors right there, getting that full red on the body. We have some Niger flametails. It's mostly females, but there's a couple stunner males in there. So unfortunately that one's got a ripped top fin, that male does, which that's a shame. It hopefully will grow back. There's another Niger flametail male. see he was put off to the side here. They might have been fighting. Blue moor eyes, those are always a staple with, you know, African Malawi keepers. I mean, just a spectacular fish. And the nice thing about them is they're not overly aggressive, you know, compared to some. Red shoulder peacocks, got a couple males in there that are starting to color up nicely. So, I mean, just so you know, like all our fish are natural. They're not hormoned or juiced or anything like that. So, you know, they're not artificially colored. There's one swallowtail male in there that's looking really, really nice. I don't think he's going to allow me to videotape him because he's too shy. Tetrastigmas, we got some big males on those guys. But again, they're a little shy. So, Maloto Goldcrest, there's a male right there that's starting to show some pretty good color. See those guys. My lighting is not that good on some of these tanks, so you'll have to excuse me. We got some otter point males here and females, but there's at least 2 to 3 males. Otter points are really shy. They don't. I wouldn't recommend them for a all male tank just because they won't ever look very good unless they're the dominant one on the tank in the tank. They're better to be kept, you know, as a breeding group with males and females. The red dragon bloods, you can see some of these are really colored up nicely. A lot of females in this tank. It looks to be like 3, maybe 4, you know, full colored males left in the tank. So those guys are nice. Some Venustus, you can see the male here showing some nice colors. Just starting to color up. They get pretty big. So Eastern Happy Cichlid, these guys are looking nice. You can see that male's all colored up, fired up. You know, a lot of people they don't know, and I understand, you know, that they don't know, but you know, they maybe order a full color male, you know, from the website. They get it, they put it in their tank, you know, everything's good, and then after they put it in the tank, the fish turns off its colors. Then they're like, man, you know, I bought this fish, it was a full grown male and it never colored up, and you know, and I understand people just don't know, you know, just from inexperience. But if you have an all male peacock tank, you're going to have like a, you know, pecking order, and the ones at the top of that pecking order are going to be full color, and the ones that are not will not be full color. So if you have a male peacock, or you know, in the haps it's very similar, that's not coloring up, then chances are he's getting bullied in his tank and will not color up. You know, that's just if they color up, they're going to be targeted by, you know, the other more dominant fish. So you know, we recommend, you know, when you get you know, new fish in, I would quarantine them. Just let them get, you know, recovered from the shipping, get acclimated to their new home, and then add them to your tank. And then you could keep the quarantine tank as a hospital tank or as an aggressive tank, you know, or aggression. You know, if one is getting like, you know, crazy aggressive, then, you know, you could put him in timeout, is what I call it. You know, so you take the dominant one out of the tank and, you know, give him time to cool down, and then by that time the other ones in the tank will color up better, and then you can add him back to the tank, and you know, and hope that he behaves. But not that, you know, fish you know, learn that. It's usually that the other ones had time to get more food and get more confidence, so when he goes back in the tank, he could hold his own. So I know people were asking about the OB peacock. So we've got some males. There's a lot of females in there, but we've got some males that are really showing some nice coloration, you know. So we got some Eureka Reds here. Those guys are looking nice. You see those guys colored up. We got some Star Sapphires. Of course, these are not chipped out yet, but there is, you know, young ones that are going to be males for sure. So I know we put those back up on the website this week, and they've been they've been selling, you know, pretty fast. So Taiwan Reefs here. Got a couple males starting to color up a little bit right there. So I won't have time to show you everything. So we got some German Reds. I'm gonna have to restock on those guys because they're flying out the door. We got some red laser Corys. Those guys are going to be hard for you to see on the camera, but those guys are also really nice. We did bring in some discus on this last order. We're going to baby these guys and hope that they acclimate well. Discus are notoriously, you know, sensitive to shipping, and you know we're going to be doing everything we can to baby these guys so we can start offering you guys some discus. That's one of the most requested fish that we have is discus, and we just can't get good ones, you know, and we can't breed enough of them. So it's I'm hoping that we have good success with those guys. These are some wild panda Corys. So, you know, panda Corys are, you know, readily available in the hobby, tank raised, but we saw some wild ones on the list, and you know what, we're like, this is a staple in the hobby, so let's bring in some wild ones, and maybe there's some breeders out there that want some, you know, from the wild genetics. And so we got those guys in. We got the reticulated Corys. Those guys are nice. They get really, you know, tall dorsal fin. The males do. So those guys are nice. And all these Corys you can find on our website. So, and if they're not on our website, that means that they're not ready for sale yet, but that they will be, you know, shortly. This is the black band Cory. Those guys are a good size too. They're like 3 inches long, so they're looking good. 4 spotted Tetras. These guys are looking good. Alright, let's go on the other side. I'll show you guys some more peacocks. We got some yellow blaze, a couple males in there starting to show some really good colors. You know, see that one right there. But they're also a fish that doesn't always show its best color in an all male tank. Like in this tank right here, this is the most dominant male in the tank. You can see the nice yellow band and blue body, but you can see some of the other males, they're not showing that color because that guy's got everybody, you know, scared. So deep water haps, Electras, those guys are nice. So those guys looking good. We got some big electric blue Fire Eye, and we have a few of the OB Borlei. Actually, it looks like mostly females left on the Borlei. So yeah, these are always a favorite just because the bright blue markings on them. We got some blue dragon bloods here looking good. Yeah, the yellow blaze will show good color, but if they get stressed out or dominated, you know. And another thing that I give props to, I see on the Imperial Tropicals group, is I see a lot of all male tanks where like all of them look stunning, and you know the only way that you're able to do that is by keeping your tank like top notch. I mean, like whether it's weekly water changes or bi-weekly, you know, doing the proper maintenance on your tank, also the food, the diet. You know, these guys don't want to fight because they're happy with their environment. So it really takes the aggression level down. Plus they, you know, they probably have the proper size tank for the fish, so it can be done. I see it a lot. So but I do see a lot of other ones where, you know, you might have like 3 of them that are full color and then the rest of them are just kind of washed out. So you know, it's important to have a good healthy balance in your tank. And if fish get too aggressive, you know, you need to put them in timeout. If one gets beat up, then you need to put him in a hospital tank and allow him to recover. So but the yellow blazes, they're stunning. Like that one male I was showing you back there, that guy was on fire. Got some red Nile Victorian Cichlid. You can see that dominant male back there in the back. We got Chitimba Gold. Got a couple of those guys left. What else we got here? Azurius, that's a big one. I know we got a couple different sizes on those guys too. So if you weren't needing a big one, then I think we've got those pretty much in all sizes. Over here, you're going to see the juvenile, peacocks. These are 40-gallon tanks, so it's not going to have the big guys that I've been showing you. That's like the Johanny. We got some red cheek Trophiops in this tank. Here's some smaller Azurius in this one. And you can see these guys are like, 3 inches. So, but they're showing good color. Rhodesii, got some predator haps, SP44s. Those guys are always fired up, no matter what size they are. This fish has really been, one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, obviously, but we started breeding this one about 8 years ago, and it's never disappointed. It's always just, been really, really colorful, and they're feisty. But the nice thing about them is they don't kill each other. Very seldom do we ever, lose a fish because of them. They remind me kind of like the German blue rams, where they got a lot of, macho, personality, but they, very seldom do they fight to the death, But right now there's a bunch of males in this tank with just a few females, and they're all competing for those females. Albino Sakalafi, albino Turkish. Those guys are looking good. The Zen Gingers, telling you guys, hey, don't forget to hit the like button. That's always appreciated. We get a lot of people on here, and YouTube probably still, after doing this for a long, long time, they still have not allowed people to hit the like button without disabling the chat, which is frustrating. But YouTube, they could do whatever they want. So Yellow Labs, those guys are really nice. I just seen somebody post up a video of their tank, and it had just a beautiful group of Yellow Labs in it. Hap again, that guy's, he's fired up too. Really nice. All right, so I'm gonna move on from, well, I say move on from the Africans. There's still a few on this side, but mostly Tetras. We got some white cloud minnows. We got some red glass barbs, some midnight peacocks. Those guys are not showing any color yet. Albino Danny Oak lowlights. We do have some smaller Madoka white lips. We got some Solocii. See the yellow guys in there. And there's some Mason Reef in there also. These are both from the German strain that we brought in last December. So it's nice that we got a lot of those, fish from that German order already breeding, and we got juveniles in production or for sale from the breeders. So it's nice to see that, because it's a big investment for us to bring in a big order like that, and you want to try to get them breeding and going as soon as possible. So that's the nice thing about Malawis, is they're not too difficult to breed. We got Ember Tetras, really nice peaceful tetra there. These are cool. This is the striped gobies. So there's all types of gobies out there, and you don't see them a lot in the hobby. So it's I'd say a fairly rare fish in the hobby, but they're really nice. You can see the males get like this electric blue across their body and on their face. Really, really cool. Michael Bryant's asking about American cichlids. Yep, we're going to go through that section next. Well, I say next. We're going to probably go through the rainbow section and then into the American section. The Dempsey'S, one of the most colorful Mabunas out there, but they are high aggression. This is another one I recommend keeping in a breeding group. I mean, if you just had a 40-gallon tank with some nice, you know, rocks and structure in there, I mean, it's I actually think they're getting fed. You see that? But yeah, you got to have, you know, fish that can keep up with these guys. Yeah, Steve Yang. We got a lot of rainbows, Steve. I'm gonna walk through the rainbow section. We do have rainbow shiners. These also came in last week. Now, if you guys don't know about the rainbow shiners, you ought to check them out. It looks like just a basic silver fish until it gets into breeding coloration, and then it's one of the most stunning fish in this building is the rainbow shiners. I do have links. I do have some shrimp and crayfish in the room. Most of the shrimp we keep in the breeding greenhouse, and we just bring them over here every day because we sell so many of them every day that we just go over there and get, you know, hundreds of them and bring them over here and count them out. But there is some tanks that we do keep some shrimp in. So, you know, it keeps us from having to double handle the shrimp, you know, but they, you know, they are really, really popular. Like we, you know, have a hard time keeping up with the demand on those guys. So I'll tell you something about rainbow fish, and this is something I learned after going overseas, and this is the rainbow section, but that they don't really like hot temperatures. Some of the fish do very, very, you know, good at 82, you know, but most of them are going to be much happier at like 78 or even slightly cooler. So the color on these rainbows are not going to be, some of them will be really nice, but our water temps right now are like 81 degrees, so they're not going to be like showing their really full potential. And some of these just came in, like this is the Antinio Guzmani. These came in on Monday of this week. They are looking very nice. I'm super excited to have several location types of Bosemani going. We got in some Skull Creek rainbows. All right. We got the Prices rainbows right here. And again, with it being on the, you know, higher end of the temperature, these guys aren't going to be showing the best coloration. The Fricatas look good. The forktail blue eye, I don't know how well they're going to show up on the camera because they are pretty small, but those guys are looking good. We got the Parvas, Malatinia Parva, the Sunset Dwarf. Those guys are looking good. Again, no coloration though at that size. We got threadfin rainbows here, and those guys are looking nice at this size. And we do have females and males available on that. That's a fish that until, you know, we started getting them from a friend locally that breeds them, they were generally only all males available in the hobby. Like it was hard to get females for threadfin. So, and you really need the females to get them to look their best. Like you could keep them with just males, but if you really want to see the finnage display and, you know, see that fish looking its best, I definitely recommend getting some females. Rainbows are kind of like the African peacocks. Like, you know, you could do an all male thing and a lot of them will be like just stunning. But if you want to see that fish color up the most, I would definitely have females, you know. The Upper River Catherine, this is one that is stunning, but it don't look stunning because, like I said, the temperature is, you know, a little bit warm in here. Calibirus, we got those in. This is the red neon blue eye. So this is a fairly rare one right here. And they always have been real sensitive every time we brought them in, but we've been real happy the last two times that we brought them in from our friend in Indonesia that breeds them, that they've been very, very healthy and hardy, and So I'm glad to be getting those into the hobby. This is another location type Bozemanii, Aves Creek. And again, these guys just came in on Monday, so they're not going to be showing much color. We got Cichlid tabula rainbows. I don't know how to say that name 6 times in a row, but very, very nice. Got deep water creeks. This is one that our friend Gary Lane turned us on to, that he's like, please, you know, he's like, don't let people breed what we call an Australian rainbow. He's like, there's no such thing as a fish that's just called Australian rainbow. We need location. So this is one that he recommended us getting to breed, and it's, you know, a location name, and it looks like what the common hobby strain of Australian rainbow looks like. We got some Millennium rainbows. Those guys don't seem to mind the heat in here. They still have great color. This is a local strain of Bozemanii that we have, and you can see the males are starting to color up, and you know, these are tank raised here locally, so they're more accustomed to the heat, and those guys are showing good color at this point. And it looks like mostly males in there. So Susie Creek. If you guys subscribe to the Amazonas magazine, then you know about this fish. It's a very, very special fish that, you know, comes from West Papua, Birdhead Island, and you know, we were fortunate enough to catch some of these guys when we went over there with Hans Evers from Amazonas magazine. So we got some albino millenniums, Wapagas, Alani. And again, they're not going to show much color at this size. And they just came in earlier this week. Celebrese rainbows. Another nice. Actually, technically, I don't think these are called rainbows, even though they come from the same areas as rainbows. We got in some Fletcher Creek. So lots of new rainbows that are not very common in the hobby. Coming River rainbows, those guys are stunning. We got yellow rainbows here. Got, looks like mostly females left on that one. Got the Madagascar rainbow. These guys are always looking sharp. Dory-eye rainbow. And again, you see a couple males starting to show color. Border Rivers. The nice thing that, you know, our friend Jeffrey in Indonesia, he actually is going to Papua to collect a lot of wild types, breed them, and then get them in the hobby. So really excited about the work that he's doing to make these fish available. All right, American cichlids. We got some Hecli right here. You can see those guys are looking really nice, good finish. Just a spectacular fish. Love the Hecli. This is not an American cichlid, it's a Madagascar, but I'll show it to you anyways. These guys just came in, so they're going to be pretty shy. But that's the Starry Night pollen eye. Some people call them bleaker eye. There's actually, you know, locations on these guys. That's something that in the future I wouldn't mind getting more Madagascars to breed and actually have locations on them. Argentis. Those guys are a really nice Central American cichlid. Not much color when they're small, but really nice fish. Bacordii. Again, just a silver fish when it's small, but it gets big and beautiful. Got some green Severums here. These guys are looking nice. We just got a new batch of Oscars in. Those guys are looking nice. Electric blue Acaras. Those guys are looking nice. Always a really top seller. We got red Spotted Severums. Again, these fish will, you know, just start showing a little bit of coloration at this size, but when they get big, they're just stunning. So a lot of times you'll see them in full color you know, at this size. And when you see them in full color at this size, that means that it's an import from Asia that's been juiced with hormones. So it really affects the health of the fish. We got some gold Severums there. We got some green Texas here. Some Midas. And what's cool about the Midas is they're already starting to show color. This is just like when they're born, they're just like a grayish silver fish. And then all of a sudden some will turn white, some will turn orange. Just a really unique mixture of colors on these fish. Mean fish though too. Very mean. We got some Rawa rainbows, Melantinia. That's another rare one. Goldie eyes, those just came in on that last order too. Got the firemouth Mickeys. Those are always really popular. Just a staple in the hobby. We got Sahika T-bar Cichlids. They got the blue eyes, really nice, you know, kind of a smaller fish, doesn't get too big. We got some more of the bleaker eye here, Madagascar. You can see a couple males starting to show good color. Some spilums right here. And most of these centrals, they don't have much color until they get big. We got the rainbow cichlids here. Those guys are actually starting to show some good coloration. We got the Gymnogeophagus labiatus. And there's a big male right there. You can see that guy. He's the big dominant one. They get a nice big hump on their head when they get big. Got some angelfish, platinums, some belltails, some smoky canories. Just got a lot of plants in on this last order. Some super red Norwegian. Those are always real popular. And it's got some 48 angels in there. They just added some substrate, so it's going to take a little bit of time to clear up. Some blue blushers. What else we got? We got some really big Severums right here. See those guys? They're like 5-6 inches. What else? Some birchers here. These guys are nice. Oh, we got a new jewel cichlid, Turkana. And it does look distinctly different than some of the other hemichroma species that I've had before, so we might keep some of these back just to, you know, see where they turn out. I'm really excited that a lot of the jewel cichlids are starting to be bred by location, so it's really important that we keep these locations and let people know about where they come from. Some dove here. Probably the most aggressive fish that we have in the building here. But as you can see, I mean, we have like probably, what, 20 or 30 in a 40 gallon, actually 75 gallon tank. Now, you know, they don't stay in here for very long because, you know, every day we have dove going out. So, Ali Sean, that's interesting. I just seen that comment come up. I'll have to read about that. I know Dr. Loselli has done a lot of research on the Madagascar, so whatever he says, I know I've seen them in the hobby. You know, the Paul and I are typically the big spot. Ours have the small spot, so I've always called ours bleaker eye. But you know, there's just so much like misinformation. That's why, you know, I want to, you know, get more Madagascars that have, you know, a location on them. You know, it's I think it's important. And I've never put a location on mine because, you know, I call mine like a hobby strain. You know, that, you know, an aquarium strain that doesn't have a location. We got some yellow firemouth, really nice. We did get some wine Miller eye in on this last order, so those guys are still in quarantine, but they're looking good. Got some roseline Denisani barbs, roseline sharks, it's also called. Not much color at that size, but if you guys know about that fish, then you know that it's a really, really nice one. We did get some peacock bass. on that last one, azules. They're actually under quarantine right now. They actually came in with ick, so they're under treatment. Ick is it's common in the fish world, so that's why we like to identify it early on so we can start treatment right away. But once you learn how to treat for it, it's very easy to take care of it. This is a strain of jewel that we've been breeding, the Moanda, and they don't have much color at that size, but when they get bigger, like you see a male right there in the back, it's got nice yellowing. These are actually F1s also, so just another nice hemichroma species. We do have some Honduran red points, so a little bit small, but really nice fish that we're breeding in-house. All right, I'm gonna try to get some of these questions. Yes, those were tiny birchers. I say tiny, they're like probably 4 inches. It might have looked tiny on the screen, but yeah, we have several types of birchers on our website available, and they're really popular, really nice. The Rohan barb or honey barb is actually really big. Normally you don't see them at this size, so it's nice to see them bigger. Gold McMaster Eye, another pistol type. That's really cool strain, very nice. We have tried getting these before and did not have much success keeping them, and then now we have a local person to us that is breeding them, so it's really nice to be able to get them locally, you know. The Gauzy Eye, you see the male ran right behind that tag, but there's a nice male right there. Other nice Episto, some Altaphon, juveniles. These black barred silver dollars came in on that last order, so I'm really excited about these guys. These are actually tank raised too, so just a really nice silver dollar type. Redhead topos. Still got some 3 inches left. I think that was the video that they had put out, like not this Monday that passed, but the Monday before. So these are just great aquarium fish right here. They don't get too big and just really nice colors. L97 spotted catfish. So this is also a pseudocantha species, and let's see if I can lift that driftwood up. Show you guys what these really look like, because they like to hide. But just a nice black and white markings on them. Very nice fish. Big flower horn. I think the guys asked me the other day if we could sell them, and we're going to let this pair go. We got a big male with the gold female there. We got some regular size silver dollars, electric blue jack Dempsey's, and I think the strain on the electric blue jack Dempsey's has gotten a lot better over the years. I think from breeders using more wild type genetics with the Jack Dempsey's to improve the genetics on them, because we're not seeing the issues that we have seen in the past with the electric blue Jack Dempsey's. So a lot of the rainbow people love this, the Empire Gungeon. And let's see if I could get them. They're on the top tank, so I'm having a hard time seeing. A lot of them actually got behind the filter here, but this is one that I've been trying to get for a long time, and they're not very common, but they do very well in a rainbow tank, as a community. We got some boops here, breeders. Let's see, somebody was asking about the crayfish. So I know we got a lot of the CPOs in here, the dwarf CPOs. These guys are all hiding. Let's see if I could get. These guys are out a little bit better. But that's the dwarf orange ones. Mexican dwarf crayfish, the orange strain. And then you can see some shrimp in here. See if I can move some of this grass around. So this is just some regular cherry shrimp. You can see a nice male right here. Our cherry strain is, you know, all the neocardinas we breed in-house, so it makes a big difference because a lot of times the ones that are brought in from overseas are very sickly and unhealthy. They have some very bad bacteria issues. Oh, that thing got nasty. That was a snail thing. We got some electric blue crayfish here. Some Alani species. See a couple of these guys. There's a nice male right there. You see one just molted there in the back. We got the Nile Puffers in. These came in on that last order. You see them fighting over bloodworms right now. We got several new puffers in. At least 2 new ones on this last order, but they're still in quarantine. We also got a bunch of clown loaches in. Not as big as what I would like, but I am very happy because these guys are looking really, really healthy. So I'm hoping by next week we can start sending out some of the clown loaches. We got some red blonde delta guppies, Robertsoni, Central American. We got some rock cribs, West African. So I know I kind of went kind of fast, everyone. So just you know, have to bear with me. A lot of tanks to go over, and I wanted to show you some of the new stuff. We got some half beaks right here, some leaves, and I'm hoping that the males will look good on the camera. Yeah, you can see the male right there with the red and the black on their fin. Really cool fish. I mean, they remind me of like almost like a pike or a gar type, you know, predator body, but really cool fish. And then we got lots of live bears, brick swords, lots of snells, albino mystery snells, gold and blue mystery snells, jade mystery, black mystery. We did get some of our Tancho koi swords. This is from our breeders. Really, really nice koi sword tail. Really, really nice. So we've had this strain for a long time. So I'm glad that we finally got enough production on them that we can start offering them. Because that's not an easy one to breed for us because it has to be bred indoors. They don't do well in the direct sunlight, just like most albino fish. There's some neon swords there. Some sunset swords here. This is some of the other koi swords. We call this one the Imperial koi. We've had this strain breeding for, you know, a number of years. It's really nice. It's almost got like a, you know, a bluish white body with the nice koi markings on them. We got some black mollies. Some sunburst platies. Not a lot of live bears. So, all right. Well, and one thing that we're going to do is we're going to get central heat and air in this building. As you can see, just walking around and showing you guys that, I mean, we pretty much sweat all day in this building. It's like 87 degrees probably right now. And the tank temperature is 81 because we're able to control the water temp a little bit by having the outdoor pond with shade cloth, but still extremely hot. So we might have to just suffer through the summer, but we are in the steps of researching to get some central heat and air so we could, you know, mainly for us, the only fish that we have in here that don't really like the heat would be the rainbows. And at 81, the rainbows are fine, but you're not going to see on some of the types, as good of markings as you'd like to see, because they're not in breeding mood. They need to be a little bit cooler to get in that breeding dress. So that's one thing that when I went to West Papua with Hans to collect the rainbows, we were up in the mountains, and this is like fast flowing, crystal clear rivers that the temperature was like 72 degrees. So very cool. And that was in the summertime. So a lot of those fish do not like it, hot. They're not. There's some rainbows that come from the southern part of the island, and it's a little bit hotter there. But when you go up to the mountains, it's a lot cooler up there. So I appreciate everybody joining us today. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given us. As you can see, we got lots and lots of new projects that we're still working on, getting these tanks up. I know it's just been, crazy year. So super excited how far we have come. But as you can see from looking at all the aisleways that are left, we still got room for a lot more tanks, a lot more fish. I forgot earlier, there's a donation that came through. I need to look that up. I seen it come through. I was like, man, I need to let him know. Man, Average Revolution, I do appreciate that. That's awesome, man. I see a lot of people that do YouTube videos are like, oh man, give me money, thank you, and we never asked for it. And just the fact that people are so generous that they want to support our cause, it just means a lot to us. It really does. So we're very grateful, for that, and we're grateful for the support that you guys give us by ordering fish from us. And if you've never ordered fish from us, you can get our promise and our guarantee that we're going to take care of you. And if you're unhappy, and that happens sometimes, and if we can't make you happy, then we'll give you your money back and part ways. But very seldom does that ever happen. Just read the reviews online, and you can see from feedback that people give us, or you could order from Confidence with us, and you could order from our website. I'm going to try to do a better job with getting more videos, and Drake's been doing a great job with pictures. So we're going to show you more, behind the scenes of what we do here, how we breed a lot of these fish, and I hope you guys enjoy it like we enjoy doing it. So again, thank you for the support. Everybody have a good weekend. Sorry I missed a bunch of the questions, but I've been rambling for a while now, so I'm going to wrap it up. Everybody have a safe weekend, and if we have time, we're going to go again live next Friday. I'm sure we're going to have new fish and new things going on. So you guys be safe, and have a good weekend. Thank you.